Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on Piper Academy. Guys, looking at the markets, a lot of red, a lot of sell-off today. We got some manufacturing data that came out of New York. We're going to look at that. Plus, this week, FOMC. But is that the one you should be worried about, or is it something bigger coming a little bit later in the week? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. Let's get it. Class is in session. So as we were just talking about, guys, we got some major data coming up this week, and it's going to be important to watch it. It's on Friday. It has to do with the Bank of Japan, and it is their rate increase. The Bank of Japan talking currently about raising rates this Friday, which, if you guys don't know, that's what caused the carry trade that we had last time that they raised rates. This could be the rest of the shakeout. There's still a lot more carry trade to take place. And all of this happening on top of what's going to be happening this week with Jerome Powell in the FOMC. Are we going to be seeing a 25 basis points or a 50 basis point rate cut? And this is, just moving the markets. The volatility this week is unreal. And I think we're only beginning to see what it's going to be like this week. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But guys, if you're just joining us here, welcome to the Morning Market Report. We come at you live every single Monday through Friday right here at 9:30 a.m. talking about all of these things that you guys need to know, because here at Piper Academy, we believe knowledge is profit. We look at the charts, we look at the markets, look at the economy, everything, and just try to give you guys a really solid picture. So if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit subscribe, smash that like button, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it. But I don't do this show by myself. I've got, of course, everyone in the chat, which I love the alumni, but I got my co-host. He's here with me today. Let's go ahead and bring him up. OC guy, what's up, bro? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, it was a great rest weekend for me. I practically disconnect for everything, and I mean, I took a very well needed rest today. But a ton of things went over Twitter. I mean, I know I saw sparks flying, and also a couple of reversals. I did take advantage of those reversals. Hopefully, you guys also did. But let's jump right to the news, or I don't know. I mean, it's been just full pack of things.
Well, one big piece of news that I covered yesterday, and you brought it up, I just want to talk about it here to get your insight on it. I don't want to drill into it too much because, like I said, it was gone over yesterday, and that would be the second attempt on Donald Trump on his life. Did you hear about this, OC?
Oh yes, that was one of the things I did refer to, and it was, oh my god, the second time that they want to ring his bell, I would say, and try to fill. I don't know. Also, I did share with you a couple of a prediction of who's going to win, and that also kind of like a turn things around, especially with how many things we're seeing with Donald Trump. I don't know. I'm just it's just a mess at this point. This is kind of like a soap opera. So
it is.
If you're in America, welcome.
I feel like I live in a syndicated syndicated series. Like, welcome to season 52 of your life. Like, not fun. Let's go ahead and jump into the news, though. I just did want to touch on that, guys. That guy's in jail. He's caught, and he's kind of a whack job, to be honest. He's a little bit out there, in my opinion. So, but we got news to go over, so I want to jump into that. Let me get this set up here. There we go. And let's jump into the news, guys. Get you guys started on this. I got to get this adjusted. I had it set and then I moved it. See, this is what happens when you mess up things that you got. If it's right, leave it alone. Let's jump in here and check out fear and greed, guys. Looking at the fear and greed index right now, market cap coming in at $2.1 trillion. You can see volume increase was 86.9% increase in the volume in the past 24 hours. A lot of sell-off going on. Bulls and bears are in a war. That's what that means. When you have that much of a volume increase, bulls and bears are at war. Asian market last night started that sell-off pretty good. And right now, we're back at fear. We were in greed yesterday, guys. We're back in fear. We just skipped neutral completely. And I do think that this week we could see some lower fear scores than 30. 139. So keep an eye on that. Bitcoin dominance at 54.6% currently right now, up 0.15%. Let's jump over to the crypto bubble, see how they're looking. Looking at the crypto bubbles, a lot of red on this chart here. As we talked about at the intro when we came in, it does look like XAUT, which is a that is Tether Gold. It is doing pretty decent right now. Tron moving up right now to the upside a little bit. It is up about 1% on the daily here, but everything else pretty much red. Let's jump in, check out what's going on with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin down 3.3%, Ethereum down 5.3% on the daily, both of them losing also on the hourly on that data that came out this morning on New York manufacturing. BNB is down 2.8%, Solana's down 3.4%, Dogecoin down 4.8%, Cardano down 5.5%. Guys, I think I'm gonna come back and talk about this, but we've got to talk about altcoins, where they are right now, and how things could shake out and where they would be on that shakeout. Avalanche down 5.2%, Polkadot's down 5.9%. Let's round out the top 20 here. Caspa launching KRC20 this on the mainnet this past weekend. Had a few issues, but overall, guys, down 4.2%, sitting at number 21. I think Caspa is ready to move into the top 20. Remember, prices don't have to pump for a token to move up. It just has to, it's like who survives running away from a bear in the woods? Anyone faster than the slowest guy. So that's all Caspa has to do. So keep that in mind. But Near Protocol down 7.1%. That is a big loser here. Let's jump over into the next one, economic calendar. This is the one that I was talking about this morning. New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. Crazy thing happened here, guys. We were projected to be down on consensus 3.9%, forecasted to be down 2%, previously was down 4.7%, came in up 11.5%. Now keep in mind, this is only New York manufacturing, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. But a few issues. People had their Casper wallets drained. Oh, I did not know that, Retro Mike. I was reading what Caspa people were putting out. Of course, they're not going to bash their own thing. So thanks for that info. Guys, Casware wallets got drained. I did not know that. I was not doing anything on that mainnet at all, so I'm safe. Well, I don't have any more Caspa. I moved it into Bitcoin, so I'm still safe. Let's go and check out what's going on the rest of this week. Tuesday, retail sales month over month. This is coming out tomorrow morning. It is previously at 1%. Consensus and forecast is that it's going to be up 0.2 to 0.3%. So we'll see if that happens. If retail sales come in weak, that's going to be a pretty good indication that there's more contracting going on with the economy, because we already know manufacturing's down, construction's down. Why not retail? But according to the New York State manufacturing, they're ramping back up again. So that could be a sign of maybe inflation returning too, because if they're doing that much manufacturing, that means that there's a demand for it. So, and that demand, if supply can't be met, equals inflation. So, moving over here, checking out what else we got this week. Balance of trade, that is going to be Japan. Guys, I have some Japan data on here because, as I said earlier, FOMC may not be the biggest thing going on this week. We have the Japan data coming in, and they're going to be looking at their balance of trade. It's not really worried about that one. I just threw it in here for the week. Friday is what we're watching. Looking here until Wednesday, we got the FOMC economic projections. You can see currently right now on here, they are projecting a 25 basis point. That's 0.25% rate cut. Is that what we're going to see? I don't know. It's really up in the air right now, but it's more likely that we're going to see 50 basis points go on. And then at 2 p.m., this says 12 my time, this is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, FOMC economic projections are going to happen here, okay? And then we're going to get those rate decisions, and then we're going to get Jerome Powell speaking 30 minutes later, and he's going to come out, and will he be hawkish or dovish? You know, he can move the markets as much as that data that they put out 30 minutes prior. Now, let's go ahead and move on. We get our inflation rate this year. Right now, you can see, this is Japan, I'm sorry. You can see that they're at 2.8%. Guys, their consensus is that their inflation rate's going to be up. Their core inflation rate year over year on Thursday going to be up by 0.1%. And then their bank decision. I said Friday because it's actually Thursday night for us, but it's Friday there. Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Let's go talk about that for a second, because I want to break that down. Where is that? There it is. Let's talk about this. Bank of Japan policymaker signals readiness to raise rates if inflation is on track. Um, it looks like my audio is a little off. I don't know, but we'll check that in a minute when OC's back on. Bank of Japan signals that readiness to raise those rates if their inflation is off. Guys, we just talked about what that looks like with their rates being off. Their inflation looks like it's going to be higher across the board. They will raise rates if forecasts are met. Bank of Japan must take into account market root impact on economy. Now, Nakagawa warns of upside risk of Japan's inflation outlook. So, guys, if they get this rate, they are likely going to be cutting or raising their rates. If they get this inflation rate, they're going to raise their interest rates. And if that happens, that could lead to a shakeout of what we had before, the continuation of the Japanese carry trade, shaking out the rest of the markets. Another one that I wanted to talk about here was this. This is the New York Empire State Index that we talked about that just happened this morning. Recovery versus anomaly. The jump could indicate a recovery in manufacturing conditions, possibly due to new orders or better business conditions. However, it might just be an anomaly if not supported by other data this week. So we're going to be watching all of that data. Let's come back over here to OC. OC, so we get this pretty decent New York data coming in from the New York manufacturing, but then we also have this data coming in talking about the carry trade shakeout that could be coming with their interest rates. Like we're getting ups and downs and highs and lows, and it just seems like we are moving directly towards an area where really people could get wrecked or people could get trapped in some shorts. Like if you're in shorts, if you're in longs right now, guys, you've got to be very careful this week. OC, how do you approach a market like this that's given you like, hey, look, manufacturing's back up, and oh, by the way, we might be cutting rates 50%. And oh, by the way, that thing that wrecked the markets last month, yeah, that might be happening again in Japan. What's the approach? What do you do?
Well, first of all, let me shout out also Master Lex G. I don't know if he's in chat, but he's been trading Mexican peso. And I do remember that I asked for Mexican peso last time that you and FD Wide were on the show, right? I just bringing this one up because I've been in constant fight for the last months, right? And this is not new to me. If you don't know what's happening, go take a look at Mexican peso versus USD and everything that's happening in Mexico. It's just a pumping and dumping that thing up. It just looks like Pepe or something worse, right? So the very first thing I do is start waiting. Where is the whole of my or the weight of my position, right? Am I fully invested? Am I not fully invested? Do I have dry powder? How can I prevent? And the most important part and most important question is, and this comes with a little trick, how can I still make money regardless? Right? I think that is key point. That is a key point in here. And part of this, it is always thinking on risking off. You don't want to be risking in when you don't have the heads up on maybe indicators or news or a technical analysis, or better yet, fundamental analysis telling you, you know what, we're preparing for a pump. Until you see things clear, I don't think that you should be putting your money at risk, right? And this is where things start getting into like the last thing that I brought up here into the channel. For me, in real terms, we're losing a 30% value on our Mexican coin, which is the peso, right? Mexican peso. Therefore, I still have some tools that give me 13%, 15% annual yield return on savings, passive savings, but that doesn't make sense since my coin, it is just losing 23%. So what it does make sense? Well, remember that I also found a tool that gives me 10% annualized on USDC. Therefore, since I'm getting paid on USD, I'll just transform a little bit to USDC, keep it on safes, and then just spend as I go, as little as I can, transforming into USDC. So I think that is a plan, right? If you are in USD, what will be your round out coin? Well, I will say consider looking at gold, consider looking at some indexes, right? And consider looking at something that holds value for you.
Yep.
That's how I will be managing that. I mean, it's a really hard question, but make sure that you're earning regardless, right? I
Yeah,
think that is key.
absolutely. Absolutely, continue to earn, and like you said, you're looking at the peso because you've even got another exchange rate going on in your world, in
Yes.
your life that to from peso to gold, and it's losing. So if the dollar's losing, or peso to dollar, if the dollar's losing, peso's losing more. You're compounding losses with that, you know. So yeah, you're definitely approaching that the right way, finding something, and that's what everyone's doing. That is essentially, to wrap up everything that you said, you are just going risk off, and
Exactly.
protecting wealth, and that's what a lot of people are doing right now. We had a question from Buck in the chat. He said, "When are the next FOMCs?" And I'm going to jump over here. We're going to show you this chart, guys, because right now, there is a 63% chance of 50 basis point rate cut this week on Wednesday. That is a 37% chance of 25 basis points. Guys, we were looking at a 50-50 on this yesterday. It is now 63% to 37%, 63% chance likelihood that we do get a rate cut of 50 basis points, a half a percent this Wednesday, which could send some mixed messages to the investment world. If you look at this on the next ones that are coming up, they talked about a full percent, right, of rate cuts going on this year. If we're looking at that and they're doing 50 in September, the next one's November 7th. There's not one in October. So November 7th, we get one. That is going to be the next rate cut. And then one more after that for this year. That's 18 December, day after my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I get another rate cut. That is going to be 18 December there. That wraps out the year. If they're doing 50 basis points now, that pretty much locks in that they're doing 25 basis points in November, 25 basis points in December. We'll have to see how that plays out and how the investment world takes it, because as of right now, you got to remember this was 50-50. So half of the investors probably cooked in 25 basis points, not 50. And that would be the screaming sound of worry and fear that some people might have if they see 50 basis points, going, okay, what exactly happened here? Why is this this seems like a very knee-jerk emergency thing. Are we in trouble? Are we in trouble is going to be the question that I think will be asked. Let's jump back over here. I'm seeing a chat here. Wick 589 said, my bank is preparing like it's only 25 anticipated, but they have already cut rates on their savings products in anticipation of cuts this week. So that should go to show the market pricing this in. Yes, exactly. They're pricing in 25 basis points. I think if we get 50 basis points, guys, it is going to scare some people that did not prepare for that. So, that's why we talk about it here all the time. We're prepared, not scared here at Piper Academy. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at that Bitcoin chart right now, though, OC, and then we'll bring it back around to you, because last week, actually, let me pull over Discord. I'll make sure that I got that up, because I'm going to come back and talk about that one from trade calls. If you guys missed this trade call, guys, it was beautiful and it played out like a boss. But let's go check out the Bitcoin chart for now. All right, guys, taking a look here at Bitcoin. Where's my ticker? Can I get my ticker back, please? Just reload that in there. Thank you very much. Welcome back, ticker. You guys can see here this weekend. Now, Friday we did a round around the table here. We said, what are you expecting this weekend? Where are we going? What's going to happen? And the consensus pretty much everyone had was it was going to, well, most of us, that it was going to pump up into the weekend. We were here on Friday. I said it's going to pump up into the weekend. By Saturday, Sunday, we'll start dumping back down. That's what we talked about, and that's literally what happened. This one here is Saturday. We've got a little pullback and then it bounced back up. And then bam, the rest of Sunday and today just dropping like a rock. We did get a very clean rejection right here off of that dynamic reactor. Guys, I had my entry for my short right here at about 60,800. I thought it might go up a little bit in there. It didn't. I didn't get my short in. It's okay. What I'm watching right now, though, I want to drop this over to the 12-hour and show you guys what I'm seeing here on the 12 is that we do have a downtrend that printed. We do have the ribbon pushing to the downside and turn pink. The true 7 is starting to drop. And if I bring this into focus, you'll see This is money flow, and it is now curving down. It's saying money is leaving Bitcoin right now. On top of that, the volume matrix is getting a curvature and turning to pink right there. All of this is very bearish things to see on the chart. So just be cautious. Right now, it does look like we have sell-off coming. I want to come over here and pull up this chart. There we go. And let's lock that in together. Lock and step, dress right, dress. Let's go, fellas. So what I'm watching here on the 12-hour, guys, is that we do have this range here about 57.5. I do think that we could get some support there. It's this previous area back here. There was a lot of play in that range. It's really not a line. It's more of a range zone right there for support. But I do think that if that doesn't hold, we're definitely heading back down to the golden pocket. And if we can't hold that golden pocket, guys, you guys see right down here, I've got this old range box, and I'm going to show you some things on this box, but it's also coming in line right here with the Bollinger Bands on my other chart. That is right there, okay? That would give us time for all this to cool back off and get down to that range. It's about 54,000 to about 53,000. But let's isolate this left chart and show you what I'm seeing here on this, because why is this zone so important, guys? Well, it's this entire range of price action that we had back here. Let me bring that in. There we go. It's this entire range of price action that we had back here in this little node when we made this flag and then took off. If you look at what has happened here, that's literally where we just wicked at here on Friday of last week. So we wicked right down there. This is Friday, September the 6th, so 2 weeks ago. We wicked there. We had a lot of support here. We almost came to it. Guys, I do think that we're going to see a return back down to that zone. And on top of that, we've got a nice trend line playing out right here in it also. If we get down there quick enough, we could check that. If we break this, we could get a wick check on that. If that doesn't hold, we've got big problems because the 50 is right below us. But right now, I am expecting this to come down to about $53,000 to $54,000 on Bitcoin. That's what I'm watching there. OC, let's go ahead and kick it over. Actually, let me check the heat map, and then we'll kick it over to you. I need the heat map, please, good sir. Let's go into Coin Glass. There is that. It's going to be right there. Let's go into there. And then let's check a heat map, because I don't have my trade fly here, man. He's always got that for me. Liquidation heat map. Here we go. Looking at the liquidation heat map, it's coming in just below us there on the 24 hours at about 57,000. Top side move there about 59,000. But if we put this on the 3-day just to get a nice clean perspective here, it looks like we have more potential of upside than downside. That could be an upset, though, because of all the data. And then let's jump it over to the weekly. Yeah, there's that weekly. It's coming in between 57,000, about $57,000 to the downside, and then that big one down there at 55. So these are looking a whole lot more likely on the weekly than what this one to the upside is, coming in at about 60,000, especially with what we're seeing right now on the economic data coming out this week, FOMC uncertainty. So OC, let's kick it over to your chart, see what you got there on yours. What are you seeing right now on Bitcoin? Do you think, are we going to see some upside movement before the pullback, or do you think that we're pulling back before we get to the upside? Let's kick it over to your chart. Check it out.
Well, I do recall here. Hopefully, you guys are a little bit hungry, because we're gonna get started with some spaghetti here. So this is what we were talking about previous Friday. Remember the V-shaped recovery that I was talking with Alex on crypto, then waiting for the pull into the range, the pullback into the range. This is confirming the Wyckoff, the Wyckoff chart, right? And then once we have this, the most interesting part it is that we have a higher accuracy or a higher possibility to go hit the top, right? So far, we were right here on this same candle as Piper and I was saying, you know what? We think that it's going up and then down. It seems like it did actually what we were expecting. Remember that my entry point was between this previous high, right? Let's remove it, and this other previous high. I did draw these two lines, and I marked with a circle those areas right there, right? So it seems like we pretty much, I mean, hit it. This is my entry, just in case you were wondering. Let me talk about really quick about my entry. You'll see that I did not enter right away as we were going up. I entered as we had confirmation. Why? Because remember, at this point, since everything is shaking, I don't want to be risking as, I mean, more than I want to in the markets, right? Once I see that we're hitting the band, I had one rejection candle, little small, not too big. Let's just wait for one more. The almost at the closed out price, whenever we were very, very close to closing, I decided once we had already a bearish divergence, remember I was talking about having a lower high on the oscillator, building up a higher lower divergence. Well, sorry, bearish divergence. Well, then that's exactly what I entered. I was underwater for a little bit in here, but now it has played out. Now, answering your question, Piper, are we going to be seeing a little bit more downside? Let's see what we have. We're breaking through the zero line in here, which means that we're losing some momentum. But at the same time, we have a huge confluence now, which is the dynamic reactor here, the quantum reactor, and also the volume flex reactor coming also in here. So we have a ton of support. I would say at this point, just so you know, I'm just taking 50% out of my trade, moving my stop 2 and 3, and then waiting for a little bit. Are we going to be breaking down below? Seems like we could have a breakout, but I don't think, or I don't expect it's going to be a long lasting breakout. Let me show you why in here very quickly. When I start turning on my indicators, I will see that I have a loud order block in here. Not only that, the next huge loud order block, it is also down here. Another important thing that is happening is this, yes, although we are seeing a uprising wedge in here or channel, they usually break to the downside. Well, then if we get here in the loud and we have a flip of the ribbon, an early flip of the ribbon, there's a real chance that we break back above, right? So I'll be waiting for this maybe breakout. Whenever it happens, I'm gonna be almost taking everything out in here. I might be just being 70% out and just keeping the rest just in case we break back inside. If we do, I'll add back to it. But at this point, I think that we're going to have a big week in here going back down. And after that week, remains to be seen if we're going to keep going up, which I believe so because of delta volumes building up in here. So it seems like we're having a ton of bullish momentum. But guys, be careful, because at this point, remember, these ranges, when we break down, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go. So we have some counteracting action in TA here, so just be prepared for whatever happens. If you're in no position, I would say wait for the bounce, confirm bounce, and just like I did in here as a confirmed bounce, maybe consider entering in a late, slightly late entry, but with the heads up to go back far up all the way to the top of the range. In waiting for that, we'll give you the heads up in case we break down. And if we break down, well, then you know what to do. Wait for that motion, and then again prepare for this point in here. I would say that you can long this area here, but it is just a little bit of a danger zone. So just be careful in the markets. Hopefully you guys can play this one out.
Awesome. So speaking of trades on Bitcoin, if you guys are not in our Discord, in our trade calls group, you guys are missing out on some great trades. We've been dropping them over there, and they've been fire. I'm going to go through a couple of them here just to show you. But, just to bring this into perspective, we went as high here as about 60,650 here on this Bitcoin run. Let's go over and pull up this Discord chart. Guys, Lunar Beaches Crypto on the 11th. So this is about 5 days ago. He dropped this Bitcoin breakout style trade. First thing that he wanted to see on the 15-minute, he talked about the parameters for it to be met. But I want to show you guys this chart. He was talking about an upside move here of about 62,000 on the high side. But he did call for take profits here. Take profit one at 59,786 and then 61,193. That would have been at least, partial pickups on that trade there. So that was a good call on his part. It did go the right direction. It did hit one of the take profits there. And then also on the 10th, I dropped this trade on Ethereum here. Is Ethereum short. and I gave the entry being up here about 2470. I said entry 2470. Multiple indicators are showing potential move to the upside, but there's strong resistance above, and the indicators are showing weakness. Entry 2470, and I gave the take profits 2275, 2150, so on and so forth. Let's go over and take a look and see what Ethereum did on there and see what happened. It almost, dude, it's $4, man. $4. This is why you front run, and I should have done a little more top down on this, because if I was watching this over the weekend, you'll see that when the indicators pop in, literally got rejected there on our dynamic reactor and quantum reactor from chart prime indicators, cutting me a little bit short. But some of the members, I'm hoping that they got into this, because it has absolutely, from that point there, when it got to its downside, its furthest downside here, was about 8.5% without any leverage. We called for 3 to 5x leverage on that, guys. So if you guys want to get into our trade group, all you got to do, have Blowfin or get Chart Prime using my link below, or be a Summa Magna Cum Laude. You guys get access to all these trade calls. Free options there, some options that give you all the power of Chart Prime, plus give you access. And then, of course, you have Summa Cum Laude and Magna Cum Laude, because,
yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I
love
mean?
you guys. So yeah, you guys get those trade calls too. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Ethereum there. Let's jump back over and just take a look at that chart. I wanted to come in here and talk about it, but let's talk about this chart on Ethereum, guys. We are pulling to the downside right now. It looks like on the 4-hour, we might get a little bounce here. We're starting to see the reversal uptrend there, and we are starting to get a pull up here, but don't be surprised if this pulls back down a little bit. Let's run this side by side on my kit here. Let's go and see what this is looking like. Yeah, we still got more downside to go, guys. We're not pinging these blue colors that I really like to see, especially like that. That was a beautiful printing of the blue, breaking the Bollinger Band over there. Got all the indicators for confluence over here. Got the True 7 that peaked right after that. Got another divergence there, several, about a day and a half later. So yeah, when you're running these side by side, they really just come out clean. But what I'm seeing right now is this. Yeah, you can even see it right here. We were pinging, getting hot on orange there above the RSI, hitting that 50% line of the Bollinger Band. So a lot of confluence right there on that wick. I wish I had it set for 2470. I was $4 off. I should have laddered in on that entry, to be honest. Looking here, though, guys, I would like to see this to come back down, and it does look like we are starting to. These are Heikinashi candles here on the RSI. Turns the RSI ribbon into Heikinashi candles, and it does look like we're about to go down some more and then give us some blue. I'd be looking for, if you're going to get into a bounce long, around 2200. But again, guys, be careful this week with any trade mentality that you have, any trade approaches you have, because with the FOMC and the Bank of Japan, things can be very volatile, and I think we're going to see crazy, crazy volatility this week. Let's jump back over to the chat here and give a shout out to Alex O Crypto, because he's in the house. So shout out to Alex O hanging out with us right now. OC, are you frozen?
No, I'm just looking at you.
You were
And
very, very, very focused. I'm just saying. I was like, are you frozen? Let's go ahead and let's get into what you're seeing on your chart there. What of you want to take a look at? Guys, if you guys want to see some alts, let us know, and we will get into those. We're going to give a quick look over here. I'm watching the Dow right now, currently up about 0.6%. It was actually up a lot more on pre-market. S&P is running pretty much flat right now. It's neutral at 0.01%. And then NASDAQ down over 0.5% right now in the market open. So I just wanted to go through that. Let's kick it over to your chart and see what you got, OC, and then we'll come back and roll a mid-roll.
Absolutely. So I was very concentrated looking at this chart of BNB. Why? Because it seems like we are in a very important area here. I've been marking this is a manual, lines that I've been marking here for the past couple of weeks. And we are right at the top. So I was just thinking, hey, should I be shorting or longing this, right? We are between two special places. First of all, it is not about the breakout, it's about the retest. We're retesting on 2 or 3 confluence points in here, which is dynamic reactor, volume flex reactor, and also quantum reactor. But at the same time, look at how beautiful we are also going through this trend line that has been very, very strong lately. And not only that, it seems like we're having, let me control C this twice, a double top, or maybe a little bit of a creaking double top here that could be indicating that we're going down. I mean, we're losing some momentum. We have some bearish divergences, but we're still pretty bullish. So I was trying to decide whether I should be longing or shorting here. So at this point, since I'm not completely sure or I have not quite there yet, I'm going to just wait for that confirmation. Do we have a pump? Yes. Are we bullish? Yes. Do we have a breakout retest? Yes. So let's just wait for the market to finalize its decision, and then I'll just jump into the wave, whatever is going on. Because here's the thing. If I start turning on my support and resistances, I have big body of emptiness in here, another big body of emptiness in here, right? So whatever it moves is going to move hard. So I can either hedge this or just for breakout out of this support, that resistance, or breakout out of this support. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try to open a long position as soon as we're going back down here with a tight stop loss. And then if I keep going down, well, then I'm going to be opening a late shorting here, maybe just trying to short from here to there. Just aiming for a little bit of a, let's just say a compensation trade, something around a 4.8% no leverage. I will try to be using something like 10x to compensate for this. So I will be aiming somewhere around 40% gains on this short. Or better yet, if I can make it to the upside, well, then I'll be waiting for something like 100% on this possible trade. So that's what I'm looking on BNB. I will be waiting for a breakout because at this point, I mean, this is just not clear for me. But other than that, turning it back to you, Papa. I was frozen. That was the reason of my frozenness.
It's all good. You were just like that the whole time. Guys, we're going to be right back. We don't run ads during the live stream. We turn off ad promotions, so you guys don't get cut out, but we do run the mid-rolls, guys. We'll be right back after this message from the sponsor, Chart Prime. I love using Chart Prime, but they have something that is new. It's fresh, it's hot, and you guys have got to check this out.
Get full access to every single one of our custom-made influencer indicators. Receive ongoing exclusive Plus member indicators, access Plus member-only classes, and much, much more with the Chart Prime Plus package. Let's take a sneak peek at some of the features offered exclusively to Plus members.
Here's an example of our new oscillator on Tesla stock. As you can see, there is a strong downtrend. However, we see the money flow and volume wave trending up, creating a divergence with the price, and you can also see the volume gradient is becoming more predominantly green while trending up and setting higher highs. Not only that, we also see the ranking line maxed out at -70, simultaneously with oversold signals appearing and a reversal triangle to top it off. Now, if I play this out, you can clearly see where the turning point was in this market trend.
There's a whole lot of powerful stuff coming out on Chart Prime and Chart Prime Plus. Guys, if you're already a member, go log in today and check it out. Get upgraded to the new powerful Plus oscillator and all of the features that come with it. Plus, if you're not a Chart Prime member, check out the link below. Get 45% off, guys. It is the biggest discount in the market for the most powerful tools on the market. And we're back, guys. Thanks for dealing with that. Guys, let's jump over. Let's take a look. You guys have been dropping some requests. I see OC has updated my list here. Looks like we got Clean Spark coming up, Solana, Chainlink, Injective, Ondo, and Near. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Clean Spark and take a look at that. Leave me Link if you would, OC. I want Link. I want to take a look at Link today because I love my Link. I have to put on my hat for that one. Let's get into Clean Spark and see what we're seeing there on that chart. Guys, so we do have a little support here. It was that level that I had just called out there. You can see I had it right there. There it was. That was the level that I was watching closely for support on CleanSpark, if we were to continue to pull down, it's the platinum pocket. You can see here on the 12-hour, we got a nice rejection back here on 26 August off of the golden pocket there, and that was the downward movement. I said it very likely was going to be down here. You can see we tried to hold the top one, but I figured it was going to be the 887, not a common level that people use, but we do here at the Academy because we have seen historical trends play out there over and over and over again. Let's go ahead and bring in some of these fixed range volume profiles. Anything playing out there? Nope, we are way above those levels. Let's go ahead and bring in the oscillators and see what we're seeing here. I have to say, guys, if we lose this 887 easily, we're heading back down here to $6.41. That's the one-to-one line. This is all going to be dependent upon what's going on with Bitcoin, because obviously this is a Bitcoin play. We do have another level right below that at about $5.88. That is coming off this tiny little, oh, not even on the chart. OC not even saying anything. Welcome back to CleanSpark. There we go. Guys, we did get this rejection here off of the golden pocket. I did say that we were likely going to be heading down to the 887. That's $8.48. Sorry about that. OC not even telling me what's going on, man.
Sorry, I was looking at the next one up front, Solana, but yeah, sorry. I looked away for a second.
We're doing this forward here. You ready? Guys, just visualize. Listen to the sound of my voice. I will walk you on target. No. Guys, we've 887 here, $8.48. I do think we could be heading down if we break this level down to the one-to-one. That is this previous bottom back here that we had in January. And that would be at $6.41. If we lose that, we have this tiny little volume node right here. Let me stretch this out so you can see it. There's a tiny little volume node right here at around $5.75. That is going to be the last hold for us to watch. So really, what we have here is this range right here. Let me go and throw a box on here. Little rectangle price action. Let's stretch this out, guys. This is going to be the range. And that range is coming in between $6.50, really. We'll 646, 650, down to 571. We'll call it 575, okay? Nice psychological round numbers there. That's going to be the range that we have to hold. If we don't, it is very likely that we're coming all the way back down to the $3 to $4 range here on the CleanSpark price action. Now, I will point out that on the 12-hour, it does look like we have a couple of bullish indicators on the oscillator. Our trend line is pushing us to the upside, okay? We do see here that the buying pressure got grabbed up against the sellers, and that candle there did get a nice little pull up back to this range here, right? But what I want to point out is the money flow is starting to curve down. If this volume starts to turn down at the same time, and then we start to see the curving here of the ribbon, guys, and True 7 just pokes back down hard, then we could have a little bit of an issue. And again, I do think we would be heading down to $6.30 there. Ada A said, pushing for my 500 subs and 3,000 watch time hours. Guys, yeah, if you don't know, Ada Ace, I posted out his video this weekend. He was live last night. I was trying to, we're trying to help Ada Ace get monetized so that he can start making some money for all the hard work that he does in the Cardano ecosystem, really helping educate people on all of that stuff. So guys, if you don't follow Ada Ace yet, and Alexander G, can you please drop me a link in there for Ada Ace? Guys, go follow Ada. He's got some amazing content. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there on CleanSpark, guys. Watch for those levels. Now, upside. Let's talk upside. If we do get a rally, before we go there, I want to talk about if we do get some type of volatility to the upside. It would be, because we do have a pullback up here and a test of the 887. I would say that looking at this value area low, coming in with the dynamic reactor here on the 12-hour, we could get back up to $11, guys. That would be a massive little rally run. But we would have to get through the 786 first at $10.33. Key levels of resistance above us, $10.33. Next level, $12. That's the upside move. To the downside, that is going to be, again, $8.48. And then obviously 641 and 575. So that's our resistance and support levels there on CleanSpark. Little Bitcoin mining play. Shout out to CJ Taylor. That is my brother Clyde in house. And thank you, Alexander G. You are the mod queen, and we love you a lot for doing that, dropping that link for A to Ace there. OC, let's go ahead and jump over, see what you're seeing on your chart. And let's make sure you show your chart so that you're not sitting there talking about it and people are just wondering what the hell is going on, like this right here. You know, what is he talking about? Is he going to show a chart? Okay, let's go to you.
All right, so let's take a look at Solana here. So choo-choo for Solana. Shout out to Treyfly. So he's not here. Sorry, buddy. I'm taking your Solana for now for the ride. So it's been a long time since I don't do Solana. So let me just extend my previous analysis. And it seems that we did had a little bit of a fake out here. So nothing major. I believe that we're still on the same range. So welcome to Solana, a new stablecoin, right? And we need to start looking at something else here. So I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be so much bearish or too bearish here, but I do see a quite of a movement to the downside. Why? Because we have a breakout of this trend line. To be fair, I was hoping for this breakout to be the last breakout that we see for the next run to the previous highs, but that did not happen. It was just a fake out. We bounced back down. And at this point, we're breaking this trend line. We are below the zero line. Yes, it's true that we already have a flip of the ribbon, but also the volume is not there yet. 270 is pointing up. Money flow is also rising. So, I mean, can we get a pump up? Absolutely. I would say at least to the dynamic reactor. But here we go. I mean, this will be a breakout retest. And if we bounce from there, we're going to be having a lower high, right? In this case, it's going to be forming a head and shoulders there. And, well, this is going to be its neckline. So looking at the picture here, the Solana is not looking that good. I mean, I'm not bearing Solana. I do like Solana. I do hold Solana. And if we break downwards here, I'll be looking for the next area of entry, which is again at the bottom of this huge range that we've been expecting, right? So those are my entry points, or those have been my entry points for a long time. And once again, if we get there, we'll be considering to jumping back in for a little bit of a bigger trading here for a bounce. But so far, until I don't see this trend line being broken again, or at least a breakout retest on the dynamic reactor, I'm not going to be turning bullish on Solana in 4 hours. Not for now. If you're looking for maybe a short scalp for the upside, I mean, go ahead and take a look at it. I don't know, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, because we could be having this pump from its price right now 131 all the way to 136. So depending on your leverage and your time frame, you could be making a pretty penny in here if you're willing to take the risk. For my perspective, I'll just let it run and see where it defines its next big movement.
Awesome. Let's jump over here to my chart. I'm looking at Chainlink, guys. We talked about Chainlink on Friday. I wanted to leave these lines on here because I said, look, guys, we're losing some key levels here right now, and we did get a rejection up here off of the value area low and that dynamic reactor on the 12-hour. Came down, came back up. We fought to get back in the rectangle. Now we're near the top of it, but I'm seeing some stuff down here. This is what I pointed at right here. I talked about this little downtrend that we had, the overbought. We had flipped into a red. The pink here, that is a downtrend ribbon, and the money flow is starting to push down also, guys. That was there on Friday, right in there. So this is the play that actually has just fallen through perfectly, just like we thought it would. But I'm seeing some other stuff here too. When I turn on my fibs, let's get some levels off of this. We are catching support right now. And you can see that wick perfectly on the last 12-hour there. Can I get my drawing tool? Thank you much. We do have a nice wick right there that fell onto the 786 perfectly. We are coming back down to test it again right now, though. I do think we're going to break this. I think we're heading down to $8.89 right here. That is going to be this level of the platinum pocket. You can go back here historically and see that the last time we were down at this level, that was the support. It was the resistance on this candle. Fat, can you get fat for me? There you go. Just retire from the army and then you'll get fat. No problem. No worries there. What I'm seeing there is you can see this candle came up, did get its rejection on the 887, and then the next candle used it as support to get to the upside. I do think that we're going to be heading down on the current time frame to that level right there. That is going to be the 887, $8.89. If you want to call that $8.90, we know how not front running can cost you a trade. It did it to me on Ethereum. I don't like to do it too much, but there's some things that are just, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and put in some of it here at this level. I'll do the rest at the $8.94 or $8.89. I mean, we are continuing to the downside here on the ribbon. The true 7 indicator here is pushing to the downside, and then money flow starting to come down also from that point there, guys. And we are red in the volume matrix. So between volume, money flow, the oscillator ribbon, the true 7, everything pointing down on top of what we already got here as an indication on Friday of that downtrend. Guys, this was a local top and downside movement was called. If you got into that, congratulations to you. But watch that $8.90 area there on Chainlink. Let's jump back over to here. Let's just see. Ada Ace just subbed from username. Awesome. Lunar, I'll sub on my other account. Get you that 400. Subscribe. Oh, yeah. Lunar Beaches. Lunar Beaches also, guys, and Alexander G. dropped his thing. He is the one that does the pre-market show Good Morning Crypto at BC Port Corp right here on Piper Academy. And then he's also doing some education stuff over on his personal channel. So go check him out too, guys. Remember, everybody that's here on Piper Academy has a channel of some sort that they're still doing stuff somewhere else. Like, well, besides TradeFly, he pretty much just lives here now. But Lunar Beaches still has his stuff that he's doing. And then obviously FD White with the Crypto Nightcap still has stuff that he's doing on his channel. But yeah, we have a lot of people doing a lot of things. We appreciate all you guys' support. OC, let's kick it over to your chart, see what you're seeing on your charts now, and then we'll come back.
Absolutely. So taking a look at INJ. So it's a little bit of let's just say hard analysis in here, but nothing too major. And this is because once again, we're seeing that we're topping up this trend line in here. So just I want you guys to notice, Roger that, Piper. Just want to guys to notice here that I'm starting with no indicators, right? I mean, remember, guys, that I believe, and I've said this multiple times, that the most important part that you can use when trading, or the most important tool, is going to be your brain and, of course, your eyeballs, right? So make it maybe a little bit some stretching here, and do not hesitate to understand and to acknowledge where you're seeing your understanding. Then use the indicators to, as we said here, elevate your trading experience. So use those indicators to help your best tool, which is your brain. So the first thing I'm going to be pointing out here is that we have a beautiful trend line here. We're bouncing out of the trend line, and also look at how big those movements have been throughout the bounces of that trend line, right? Something else that I want you guys to notice, it is how we've been reducing that percentage, or now have we reduced that percentage bounce in here. And not only that, we made another higher low, right? Which means that right here, let me just clean this up, we could be having just a retracement all the way down to this trend line. At this point, I think we'll be smart just to keep this or this bigger trend line at the back of our head, but also maybe try to start closing this one up, because that will give us asymmetrical somehow, or somewhat of a symmetrical triangle, would give us 50% chances of breaking down or up, right? So at this point, you'll see that I also build up or draw this centroid, or kind of like at the center between this base or side of the triangle to the peak, to give me kind of like the symmetrical folding point, right? And why is that? Because if you can see, just by drawing that, it gives me important points where I do take some pauses, right? And at this point, let me just bring it up. So let me zoom in. We are right there on getting to a support. Now let's start turning on our indicators and see what we got. We're breaking through that dynamic reactor, although we are bullish still. We are going for a possible flip of the ribbon, and then we need to, or we see a bunch of reversals here. So that indicates to me that we could be going downwards. So what's going to be the next area of support that I'm going to be looking at? Exactly this point. So I'm going to add an alerting here. So when I get here, I'm going to do once again my analysis and see if I have flip of the ribbon. If I have flip of the ribbon, I'll be on or in for a pumping here to the top and most likely breakout retest and off we go. And if we are breaking below this and going for the retest, this is going to be my opportunity to short this and most likely once again going for a breakout retest. Off we go. At the center here, we are 50-50. So I rather wait either for a bounce or a breakthrough that will lead the direction of the breakout, on my opinion. So just wait a couple of more candles to see rejection or bouncing areas here or breakthrough areas. Once again, it is somewhere around 1763. And let's see both cases scenarios, how far or how low could it go depending on the breakout. So let's go for support and resistances, and I will be aiming at TP number 1 in here and also TP number 1 in here. Remember, breakout, maybe retest, and then off we go for the next resistance. If we go breakdown, in this case, breakdown, retest, and then going for the next support. At this point, we don't have a clear support other than these areas right here. So it will be smart to start looking our VPVR. Let's see, our VPVR, is it activated? Oh, I don't think so. I'll need to turn it on, but we'll see. So if you have your VPVR, turn it on and see where we have the next big volume area. Let me see if I can just bring a classical one just for you guys. So this one from here, let's just go all the way from here to there. And we'll see that the next VPVR area will be this one in here or this one in there. But we already have the support. So I'm going to be looking for 1249. And then lastly, 873. Are we that bearish? I don't think so. I rather think that we're going to be bouncing from the center and going back up, or just a fake out in here and then break back into the channel. So just keep it as a technical analysis and then follow up as we are moving forward to the right? So just wait for those confirmations. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just getting breaking news here from the Kabisi letter. Let's jump over and look at that real fast, and then we'll come back around, knock out Ondo before we head over to Randy Hipper's show. I just set the redirect, and it's time to go raid the frat house. Guys, looking here, breaking news from Elizabeth Warren. She calls for a 75 basis point rate cut this week, guys. That's insane. Elizabeth Warren, usually off her rocker, even more so on this. This would absolutely wreck markets, but she don't care about the markets. She's rich. All she cares about is, making a whole bunch of humbug about crypto being bad and Orange Man bad and, job numbers, because she's obviously not worried about everybody that in the middle class. She's got her constituency and she knows who she supports. So there you go. Let's jump into the chart though. Let's take a look at Ondo. Guys, Ondo has been under this trend line here going all the way back to June of this year, and it has been its resistance. You could have traded this all the way down. We've talked about this numerous times on the show. We did get a breakdown here, and I want to show, let me isolate off just the top chart and show you guys what happened here. See, what had happened was we had our point of control in this line, also our golden pocket. I love my fibs. It gave us this breakdown here, and that's what came down here. We did get a breakout here, guys, but we could not get above the value area low. Now we are rejecting back down and recaptured underneath this trend line. If this is the case, guys, and we are going to reject from here, then we can expect that we're at least going to come back down and revisit the bottom point that we tested here on that 887. That's at 50.9 cents. That would be the first target, and then ultimately down here to the 38.4 cents. Where's that coming from? That's coming from this pullback that we had here back in March from the top, and then from that local top in March. Let's take a look at the oscillators, see how they're looking on this, and give us a little bit more insight. Let me get rid of all of the Mexican spaghetti brought to you by OC Guy Cafe. There we go. Looking at what I'm seeing here on the Oscillator Pro, guys, we did get a turn to the red ribbon here. That is a downward trend. We did get the True 7 start to push down, and you can see here, I want to show you guys, let me zoom it in. Money flow is getting a sharp pullback right now. Money is pulling out of Ondo, and the volume matrix is all turning red. Bearish, 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 bearish. Everything is bearish down here right now. Even got a power bar to the downside starting to print right there. You can barely see it, but it is starting off So as of right now, things are looking pretty bearish. On Ondo, one last look here. Let's see how we're doing over here on this. Can we get you in line? There we go. Perfect. And let's see how this is looking for us. Yeah, we still got plenty of room to go down on the RSI primed over here, guys. We're not even close to that blue level yet on the bottoming, and we're not even close here to what we could be on the Bollinger Band. We are starting to get some tightening here. We started getting tightening back there. That led to a sell-off. I could see that doing it again, getting the tightening of the Bollinger Bands and another sell-off again. Plenty of downside move, and it does look like, based on the Oscillator Pro Plus, that is what we are seeing anyways, is all of the indicators pointing for more downside. So let's jump over to Duo Cam. We are at the bottom of the hour, OC. I know we missed one there, but it's okay. We got through most of them, almost all of them, like 90%. It's okay. Guys, thanks for joining us today. We do have Randy Hipper coming up right after this. We're going to be redirecting over there. Hope you guys like all the changes. We're trying to keep things fresh, new here. You can tell there's now some moving, dynamic, floating stuff of Bitcoin symbols behind us here. And, we're working to make this show great every single day for you guys, the alumni. We appreciate you all joining us. OC, can you tell these guys what they get if they smash that like button?
Absolutely. So, guys, if you have been, first of all, thank you so much for joining. A quick reminder to click that like button, and a quick reminder, if you click that like button, magical things happening this time. If you click that like button and you are craving for some tacos, well, click that like button. Maybe, and just maybe, somebody's going to call you, going to ring your phone, tell you, hey, buddy, come, let's just eat some tacos. Don't believe me? Click it. And tomorrow, let me know if that worked.
Oh, awesome. Love it, man. Love it. Guys, thanks for joining us. We will catch you guys right back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the morning market report. Don't forget to tune in right before that, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Good Morning Crypto Show with Lunar Beaches and BC Port Corp. And of course, this evening, tune in for the Nightcap with FD White and TradeFly right here on Piper Academy, your one-stop shop for all things that you need to know about the markets and the economy and what to expect today, tomorrow, and next week. Guys, thanks for joining us. We will catch you guys here next time. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use the stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.